It's Monday morning. You open your eyes before the alarm even goes off. Not because you're well rested, but because your mind never really stopped running. You lie there for a moment, staring at the ceiling. And before you even reach for your phone, you already know this week is going to be tight. Again, you open your banking app the way some people check the weather. Not because you're hopeful, but because you have to know what you're working with. The number stares back at you. It's not zero, but it's close enough to feel the same way. Payday is Friday. Today is Monday. 4 days. You do the mental math in your head. Rent, groceries, the subscription you forgot to cancel, that bill that auto-drafts on Wednesday. And somewhere between the calculations, a quiet, exhausting thought creeps in. How am I still here? How is this still my life? Here's what nobody tells you about living paycheck to paycheck. It's not just a money problem. It's a mental weight you carry everywhere you go. You're at dinner with friends, but you're quietly calculating whether you can afford your meal. You're at work, but part of your brain is already home. Budgeting, re-budgeting, hoping nothing unexpected comes up. You love your family. But when your little cousin's birthday rolls around, there's that pang of guilt because you wish you could do more. And the worst part? Nobody on the outside would even know. You show up, you smile, you get things done. But inside, you're running a financial survival simulation every single day. This is the paycheck trap. And right now, more people are caught in it than you think. In North America alone, over 60% of working adults admit they would struggle to cover an unexpected $500 expense. That's not lazy people. That's not irresponsible people. That's people, working people, educated people, people doing everything they were told to do. So if this is you, you are not broken. But something in the system and something in the habits needs to change. And that's exactly what today is about. Let's go back. Not to blame you, but to understand you. Because the paycheck cycle rarely starts with one big mistake. It starts quietly, gradually, almost invisibly. You got your first real income and it felt like freedom. You bought things you needed, some things you wanted. You upgraded your life. A little better apartment, a newer phone, nights out with friends. And why not? You earned it. Nobody sat you down and said, "Hey, your income just went up, but make sure your lifestyle doesn't follow it." So it followed it. This is called lifestyle creep. And it's one of the most dangerous financial forces in the world because it feels like progress. Your salary goes from $2,500 a month to $3,200 a month, and somehow you're still broke at the end of the month because your spending grew just as fast as your earning. More income, same gap. Then came the emergencies. Because life doesn't care about your budget. The car broke down, the medical bill arrived, the rent went up. And when those moments hit with no savings buffer, what do? You use the credit card, or you borrow from next month, or you call someone you'd rather not call. And just like that, you're not just living paycheck to paycheck. You're living behind your paycheck, paying for last month's problems with this month's money. This is the trap. And now you know exactly how it was built, which means you can dismantle it. There comes a moment, and maybe you've already had it, or maybe today is that moment, where something shifts, where you get tired enough of being tired, where the frustration stops feeling like shame and starts feeling like fuel. That moment is powerful, because the paycheck trap is not permanent. It is not your identity. It is a pattern, and patterns can be interrupted, but it requires you to do something uncomfortable. You have to look, not away, not later, right now, clearly, at the full picture. Most people living paycheck to paycheck have never done a full, honest audit of their finances. Not because they're careless, but because it's scary. Because what if the numbers confirm what you fear? Here's the truth. Knowing is always better than not knowing. A doctor can't treat what they haven't diagnosed. And you can't fix what you're afraid to look at. Breaking out of the paycheck trap comes down to 3 fundamental shifts. Not hacks, not get-rich-quick schemes. Shifts in how you think and how you act. Let's walk through each one. Shift 1. See it clearly. The first shift is simply this. Know where every dollar is going. Sit down, right now, this week, and track your last 30 days of spending. Not a rough estimate. The actual numbers, bank statements, card statements, cash you remember spending. Write it all down. Most people, when they do this for the first time, find at least 1 or 2 categories that genuinely surprise them. The food delivery that quietly became $300 a month. The subscriptions running in the background that you forgot you signed up for. The little purchases that, added together, are not little at all. You cannot manage what you cannot see. So see it. All of it. Without judgment, just data. Shift 2. Shrink the gap. Once you see the full picture, your one job is to create a gap. Income minus expenses needs to leave something, anything, left over. That gap is your oxygen, and you build it 2 ways: spend less or earn more. Ideally both. On the spending side, start with the painless cuts first, subscriptions you don't use, services you can downgrade, habits that are costing more than they're giving back. You're not punishing yourself, you're redirecting. Every dollar you free up is a dollar that now works for you instead of disappearing. On the income side, ask yourself honestly, is there any way to bring in even an extra $200 to $500 this month? A skill you have that someone would pay for. A service you could offer on weekends. A digital product. A consultation. An extra shift. You don't need to build an empire overnight, you just need to widen the gap. Shift 3. Grow it with intention. Here's where everything changes. Most people, when they get a bit of breathing room financially, do one of 2 things. They relax their spending and the gap closes again. Or they just wait and hope things get better. The third shift is intentionality. Telling your money where to go before the month begins. Try this simple framework. 3 buckets. Needs, 50% of your income. Rent, food, transport, utilities. The non-negotiables, savings and debt, 20% minimum. An emergency fund first, then debt paydown, then investing. Wants, 30%. Everything else, guilt-free because it's planned. This is a version of the 50-30-20 rule, and it's not perfect for everyone, but it is a starting point. The goal isn't a perfect budget. The goal is a conscious one where you decide, not your habits, not your emotions, not Amazon's algorithm, where your money goes. Let's talk about the single most important financial move you can make right now. Not investing, not crypto. Not a side hustle, an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of living expenses sitting in a savings account you don't touch. This is your financial immune system. Without it, every unexpected expense is a catastrophe. With it, every unexpected expense is just an inconvenience. That shift in experience is enormous, and you don't need to build it all at once. Start with $500. That alone covers most minor emergencies. Then build to $1,000. Then 1 month of expenses. Then 3. Slow, steady, consistent. Even putting aside $50 a paycheck, $50, builds to $1,300 in a year. That's not nothing. That's a car repair, a medical bill, a month of rent if things go sideways. That's the difference between a setback and a spiral. Here's what I want you to understand before we close. You did not end up paycheck to paycheck, because you are bad with money. You ended up here because nobody ever gave you the full playbook. Schools teach you history and algebra, but not how interest compounds against you. Nobody explained lifestyle creep. Nobody warned you about the psychological traps that make spending feel good in the moment. You were handed a game with no instructions and told to figure it out. But now you have the information, and information, paired with action, changes everything. The version of you that woke up this morning anxious about the balance in your account? That version is not permanent. The version of you who wakes up on a Monday morning, opens the banking app, and smiles. That version is possible, not in some distant future. With consistent, intentional steps starting right now. So, here's your assignment for this week. 1. Pull up your last 30 days of transactions. Look at every single one. No judgment, just data. 2. Identify one category where you can redirect even $50 this month. 3. Open a separate savings account if you don't have one and move that $50 into it today. Not a complete financial transformation, just the first deliberate move in a new direction. Because here's the truth about breaking the paycheck trap. It doesn't start with a huge salary or a lucky break. It starts with a decision. A quiet, personal, powerful decision. I am done letting my money run my life. Starting today, I run it. You woke up this morning in the trap, but you don't have to go to sleep in it. Let's build something different. If this video spoke to something real in your life, share it with someone who needs to hear it.